We want to get done. We want to get out of here before noon today, so anybody that's volunteering can get downstairs.
And they need help downstairs.
Because they do need help as far as things go. For that, I've got an extra chair up here if anybody needs one too. Thanks for showing up, those of you that could make it. First thing I want to get through is, does anybody have anything that they want to add to the calendar? We still have, as you can see looking at this, some things in yellow. Granted, right now April's looking to be a crappy month weather-wise for the long-range forecast. So let's try and get that calendar filled. If you've got a ride scheduled, please get me start time, destination, and I would also like you to send me a brief description of what your ride is going to contain so that I can copy and paste that onto both Meetup and our ride calendar. It's kind of tough for me to create something, to get something creative out there when I don't know what you're planning on doing. So that will help immensely as far as that goes. Oh, I got to mark Teddy down.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
I went, just got this yesterday, and I think we heard about it last year. I don't know if I did show you, but it's basically a ride across the country with American flag escorted. Goes in all 48 states.
Okay.
And it comes into, they leave in May. We're not going to do the whole thing if you want to. But I guess you just escort it. Then they look for volunteers to just escort the flag from Illinois up to Madison. And that will be September 9th. So the Clock River is into it, already into it, Route 66 all the way to Farley. How many people might be interested? I think they'll set up a place where we will meet them, and then as they come by, I guess we join them. I haven't talked to the guy. I'll call him and find out. But it's September 9th when they'll be coming through our area and then going up to Madison.
As you can see, the change has just been made. What
I'll
we'll
get
call it
more
and stuff like
information
that, get the rest of it we can talk about, but this way we've got it on there.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yep.
And that's the Saturday after the holiday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Saturday after Labor Day.
Okay, excellent.
September 9th. I think that'd be pretty cool. I was looking at how they're gonna pass the flag. They only have one guy with the flag. You see, try to
Well, right now there are 11 days with a Saturday, Sunday type thing that we do not have something scheduled. So the calendar is looking pretty good. I do have to get it out within the next couple of weeks before April, the April 1st meeting. April 1st. No, wait. April 5th meeting. So we're looking good as far as that goes. I just recently completed an audit of our membership against Meetup. And some of the information that I went through and found did not look very, very encouraging. We have some road captains. Remember, in order to be a member of this chapter, you got to be a national member, you got to be a local member. We've got some that your local dues have expired or national dues have expired and you have not renewed yet for the local chapter. So we got to make sure that we're staying on top of that because I will be continuing to audit that. If you get kicked off Meetup, that's the reason why it happened. So make sure if you know anybody that their nationals are expiring, kind of nudge them in that right direction. We've got a few people that have gone that way and have started to renew. I've tried to send emails out and things like that and notifications. When we get to writing season, and for those prospective members, in your book, I furnished you with a lot of the information. There's one big page that you've got to have, which is the sign-up sheet for all rides that look like this. When they're going to sign this, that member guest is very, very important. We're going to be asking every member, when you show up for a ride, you need to have your national as well as your local hog chapter cards. If they do not have them, They go down as a guest and must sign a waiver. It's going to be very, very important on waivers. HOG has basically 2.5 rules. Number 1, no alcohol before or during a ride, and that includes passengers. You see anybody that has a drink, they are off the ride as of that point. All right. The other rule is that a waiver must be signed, whether it be a national waiver or an annual waiver that we all sign when we do our membership, or one of the other waivers that they sign the date of the ride. And I really want to try and stay on top of that stuff if we can, as much as possible. And then the other half a rule is the guy that's in charge of the insurance, the lawyer kind of like for HOG. Thor. Great guy, by the way. He just wants to know if anything happens before the lawsuit gets to him. So the only way I can go about doing that is making sure that our paperwork is done and getting it handed in so that none of us end up having to go through those issues, Keith.
And we're gonna, and Lenny's been waiting for me to give him something. Just wanted to get clarified what you did about them showing the cards for a ride. We're gonna put an e-blast out to everybody. And we'll mention too that if you fail to show up with it, you'll have to sign a new waiver, or guest waiver.
Guest waiver for the day. I mean, this way it's basically CYA. And it's not just me, it's every one of us. Ace?
I just want to make sure, so the latest release forms that we have, the revision that I got is from 97 in my book, so has there been a more recent one?
There was one that was sent out last year by Julio.
Okay.
I've got them on the website. I'm going to, sometime early next week, get the grass class information out. The 2 things that we got Julio had sent out, as well as all the forms in electronic format, so that everybody has, we're all on the same page with forms as far as they are.
So anybody can go to the
They're on our website too.
website, or even the Army website, and download them off of that.
Right, that's exactly where I've gotten all my information from. So this way, you've got it if you want to save it electronically for yourself. But those were kind of the big things that I wanted to hit on and make sure we were all, as we're getting ready to click into writing season, hopefully on that same page. Anybody have anything they want to talk about really quick? Keith?
Hopefully there might still be some of those forms of sign sheets and some of those bigger forms in that glass cabinet by the doors. So in case you show up here and you forgot them, you left them at home or something, there should be, I don't know if there are anymore, there should be some in that glass case by the front door.
Yeah, they're at the bottom. You got it.
And down the bottom.
Okay.
You turn the case around and pull that bottom door out. There should be some folder there with some forms in there.
There are also some blue cards in there.
May want to update that just to make sure there was some there.
Okay.
So it's good to just throw all the forms in your saddle bag. Just
Well-
put them in a waterproof bag in your saddle bag.
If they're 8 o'clock and either don't line or.
Yeah, as well as pens, by the way. There are a lot of times you need someone to sign it, the pen walks away on you. Yeah, that'll walk away real good. We got, it was black and shit.
Yeah, we get.
That's how we put some down.
That's what I've got. Every ride I'm on, this is with me.
What's it?
Every ride that I'm on, this book is with me.
Okay.
So I've got plenty of forms, and
Yeah.
it's not just who's leading and who's sweeping that's responsible. We're all kind of.
I love the insurance coverage though.
Well,
That's really, it always scares the heck out of me.
and nowadays it
Yeah.
kind of almost should.
Yeah.
So once again, if you've got anything on that sheet that was on the ride schedule that's in yellow, if you could get me that information as soon as possible. As you can see, I've already started populating meetup and the ride calendar, and I've got to continue to get back on that. I kind of let that lapse for a little bit, but I'm trying to do what I can do as early as possible so that there's things there. And being only human, sometimes I make mistakes, so if you see something, let me know.
No, you make mistakes.
That's right, you're human, not a woman.
I said,
That's
whoa. Don't start. Hey, we mixed company.
Don't
so.
start.
Wouldn't know any mistake.
I said I don't always make mistakes. I said sometimes.
I thought my wife was wrong one time, but she was just mistaken.
Now we're getting closer.
All right, so for the actual road captain portion of it, does anybody else have anything else that they want to say? I was thinking maybe a half hour, but I don't want to keep everybody.
Bob, hey, Bob,
Hey, what about Bob?
right for hope.
What about right for home?
Julianne would like to get some of our
Oh,
road captains
yes.
there. They again have quite a lot of riders, so they break it up and get some of our road captains just to be in between. Not
Okay.
necessarily
She
lead
wants
the
us to
ride.
support them.
Sure.
I mean, I got the route already, so we're,
That brings up another thing I forgot.
So if you like to go, they're gonna go on the ride, right, join up and help out with leading some of those subgroups, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a ride I will not be at. I've got a wedding that day.
Well, cancel it.
I'm not getting
This is more
Hey,
priority.
yeah.
This is you being the head guy.
I haven't found out what time the wedding is, so if it's a 5 p.m. type thing, I will be at the ride.
Okay. Just let everybody who's going on the ride.
I might be riding in a suit, but I'll be at the ride. No. The other thing I was going to sit there and say was, when it comes to doing routes, I want to get your guys' feedback, because I know a lot of us have GPSs, and we like to know the route in advance. If you can get me the directions, it doesn't have to be a GPS file, but if you can get me the turn-by-turn directions, I can turn that into a GPS file and get it out to all the road captains, as well as the turn-by-turn directions, so that they've got it. You don't have to print out a bunch of things. But it would help. I personally think it helps, because I don't like to have to sit there and go to a piece of paper and try and read a piece of paper while I'm writing. So if you can get me that the information, the earlier the better. And I know there are sometimes we may have to make an adjustment on a right or a U-turn or something to that effect. But this way, do you think it would be an advantage for you guys? Having that information in advance to be able to get onto your GPS if you have it, or print out directions and get it however you want to get it taped to your tank, or some people on their screen, their windshield. I've seen people take the white, the not dry erase, but the dry erase or something like that, and do turn by turn on there.
On the gas tank.
Or on their windscreens
On the windshield.
that do that, where you can still see through when you're looking right at it, so it kind of helps too.
It's all useless at night, by the way.
Huh?
It's all useless at night unless you have
Well, it's especially helpful for night rides, because you're not sitting there trying to read it at night. Look for signs.
Right, yeah, no, totally.
And as we all know, when you're leading a ride, the hardest thing to do is have one eye going forward and the other eye in the mirror to see what's going on behind you.
It's tough to learn how to do that.
So that brings me to the next step is there are some that have CBs and communication systems. And I know some road captains, if they're leading, would like to have somebody sweeping with a CB to be able to keep that constant communication. So if you're a lead and you're a sweep and you don't have a CB, what we can end up doing is putting another road captain on your wing that does, and another road captain back there also with the sweep that have the CBs that can do that communication if we get broken up or anything like that should we have a unfortunate situation out there on a ride. So those will be some of the things I'll be looking to try and get incorporated into this year's riding whenever possible. Questions on that? Anybody have a problem doing the routes in advance or pre-riding or anything like that? Because I know we have quite a few people that are retired. I kind of fall into that group. Some that are lightening up their schedules.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah.
And things like that. So if anybody ever needs to go out and do a pre-ride, hit me up. I'm always available. And I know there's a few others in here that are always available to go for a pre-ride. And we may even take Teddy with us.
There you go.
He looks too damn
We
comfortable.
need a vest and road cap.
Yeah, we gotta get a little high visibility vest. For any that don't have those high visibility vests, we do have some that the chapter has purchased. They can be rented out or loaned out, I should say, not rented out. They are the chapters. And I do have a bunch of those that if you need one, let me know what size it may be and I can get one to you for use for the year. Anything else? All right, awesome. Let's get to the grass class portion. Now, if you've taken it before and you don't want to, fine. If you haven't taken it, it is one of the requirements to attend a grass class for being a RC. And it's not a bad idea to get a refresher. So, with that said, Julio, the floor is yours.
Well, I'm gonna try and make this quick. Okay, any questions?
Okay, take it easy, Jim. Which one do you want, the PowerPoint or the Word?
The PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah, what's there's a few.
Yeah, I'll wait. Never mind.
All right. So, you know, just scroll it. Do you want it all once?
Yeah, just put it all, there's a slideshow, there it is. And from the beginning.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, it just shows you what the next slide is. That's what they're saying.
All right, this is, you said that most of you have gone through this already. I'll kind of keep it quick. It's all kind of common sense. It's stuff that we've all gone over before. Okay, if you have any questions during the presentation, don't feel free to just speak right up. This is too touchy here. There we go. Okay, we're going to talk about group writing. Okay, no practice exercise. I don't remember that one. We don't teach people how to ride. That's number one. Okay, we don't teach them how to ride. We just inform them how we ride as a group, and that's for people that are new to the chapter or guests of chapter members that come on a ride. Make sure that we always give them an explanation that this is what we do, and then we'll get into that as we go forward. Okay, section 1 is group riding and hand signals, road captain obligations, passenger riding, and road captain modules. I don't know if we're going to get into all of it, but we're going to cover most of it today. Okay, hand signals. Everybody knows what the hand signals are. One thing when you're giving hand signal on a ride, okay, if you're here and the corner's there and you stick your hand out, don't do that. Give ample time, okay, maybe eighth of a mile or so, turn your turn signal on, put your hand signal out, okay, be a left-hand signal. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Okay, there's your left turn signal. I see, I got it now. I'm looking at I don't see what you see. I'm looking at something different here. Here's your right turn signal. Of course, there's a single file. Now, don't get lazy with the single file, okay? I've been on rides where I've been in the back or in the middle of the pack, okay? And a guy wants to put everybody in single file and he goes like this with a cocked elbow, okay? Some people may take that as a right turn. I know I've done that several times. I put on my turn signal and he wants everybody single file and I'm sitting there sucking my thumb, so what the hell is going on, So get that arm straight up in the air, as straight as you can possibly get it. And then when you want to, there's your single file. Okay, and then when you want to, put everybody back in a regular staggered formation, make sure that you swing that arm back and forth, okay? And let everybody know that that is passed on to the back. If you're in the middle of the pack, make sure it gets, if it gets to you, make sure it goes all the way back to the suite. Okay, if there's an obstruction in the road, okay, if it's on the, okay, I'm sorry, I'm behind here. If there's an obstruction in the road, okay, that's on the left side, use your left foot. There's been, some riders will take their hand off the handlebar and point like this. Again, that could be construed as taking a left turn, okay? So we don't want people confused. It's rough enough out there, especially when you got new people in the group. Use your left foot or, sorry. Or your right foot if the obstruction's on the right side, okay? Make sure that if, look ahead, because there's been times where I'm leading the group and all of a sudden there's a dead animal, there's roadkill, and I've missed it, and all of a sudden I'm, it's kind of like stick it out there as soon as you can, let people know what's coming, okay? If you need to stop, okay, for any reason, okay, let everybody know, is point to your tank. Now this is one of the only signal that is passed forward in the group, okay? If someone in the middle of the group has a problem with their bike, forgot to get gas and they're running out of gas, can everybody see that? Okay, forgot to get gas, for whatever reason, okay?
Bathroom break.
Yeah, bathroom break, maybe they got a sore toe, who knows, whatever the case may be. Point to your tank, honk, tell people to honk the horn so the person in front of them gets the message, point to your tank, and that signal gets passed forward up to the road captain. So this way he knows that he's got to pull over to see what the problem is or take care of the situation. Okay, if you want to increase, now I'm with it. If you want to increase speed, of course, take your hand and go up, and at the same token, if you want to decrease, calm down, let people know that you got to slow down for whatever reason. If there's an emergency vehicle up ahead, police, fire, ambulance, whatever the case may be, tap your helmet, okay? Now, you have to make sure that you go through this in your pre-ride presentation, that all your riders know each and every one of these signals. So when you tap your head, they don't say, what the hell's going on, or maybe they think you might have an itch or something. Go ahead and make sure that everybody knows these signals, and everybody, tell them you pass the signal back. If you see me do it, you do it, and make sure it was all the way back.
Doesn't this one go forward too, in case you've got one coming up from behind?
Never discussed that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's the nice thing about being a sweep. You don't have to worry about passing signals.
I still do all the signals though. Hey, just in case there's a car or anything else, just whatever.
I'll do the turn.
It's probably just practice. I do it when I'm by myself too.
You're passing back to
Yeah.
Okay, in case of emergency, everybody should have two of these, one in your wallet and one on your bike. It has the information as far as your name, your phone number, emergency contact, wife or girlfriend. But I would suggest putting your girlfriend's name in pencil, okay, because that changes from time to time, or boyfriend, whatever the case may be, okay? Again, one in your wallet, one in your bike, in your saddlebags, your tote pack, whatever. If there's an emergency, it happens, okay, we know who to contact, and you can get on the phone. If there is a situation where there is an emergency, okay, find a safe place to pull off. If there's no safe place, you got to pull off exactly where the emergency happened. Okay, make sure everybody is off the road. I was on a ride where a guy was leading, and he got lost, which is understandable because at the last second he was said, "Hey, you lead this group. We're going here." Okay, and he wasn't sure what the route was, and he got confused, which is understandable. And he had to pull off the road several times, which is fine. Except make sure when you pull off the road that last guy is off the road too, because this guy pulled off the road and stopped, and me and about 3 other guys are still sitting on the asphalt, and we had to do a maneuver to get around everybody, and you have that much room to do it. So make sure that your last bike is off the road. And this is very important. Make sure that you have this in your wallet or on your bike. Okay. Any questions on this one?
Is the ice technically supposed to be on the sheet here? There's a contact information all the way on the right? I mean,
Yeah.
technically,
You're right.
at least you know instead of, I don't know where this person might have it on their bike or on their phone if it's locked.
Understand.
I always put my wife's name and
The
phone number.
emergency contact does belong on the sheet, but it's always a good idea. What if you're riding alone? Okay? And, you know, you get sick, something happens, what happened to me, I passed out, okay? I had a sugar low, and boom, I went off the road. Fortunately, I was with friends of mine at the time, but if I was alone and that happened, at least they would know who to contact, who to call.
Some people have just put 911 on
Yeah.
that sheet.
I do that. I put my wife's phone number and 911, so. Okay, any other questions?
It's
Yes.
not a bad idea on that sheet either. I suggest everybody, if you're on medication or you have some special medical needs, we don't want to know about it, but if something happens, it's right there with the rest of the information for the paramedics.
Okay.
I kind of like knowing if somebody's got a medical issue on the ride, because like if you're diabetic or you're on some type of medication,
Mhm.
I need to know, because if I just start seeing the bike not doing what it should be doing, you don't know when your sugar level's dropping.
Right,
But
You
other
don't.
people will if we're cognizant of an issue, that's all.
exactly. Yeah, when mine, I believe that's what happened to me, is that when mine dropped, I was gone, okay? I was off the road,
Oh,
so,
it can happen very quickly.
yeah, real quick. Any other questions?
Yeah, why does your computer say spank me in the front?
Oh, it's just a sticker, okay?
Wait a minute,
It's
wait.
concerning to me, but anyhow.
Oh, okay. That's- All right, what do we got here? Okay.
That was a big.
Okay,
Group-
guys, line up.
Actually, Carolyn gave me that sticker.
Okay, we went over the hand signals. Okay, lining up single file. Okay, when in the parking lot over here, the best thing to do is make sure that everybody knows that when you line up single file going out. I've seen a lot of times where, even though I've said it, line up single file, people come up to the stop sign out there in the staggered. Make sure they stay in single file, because if you're pulling out, some person may be a new rider, he may not make that turn sharp enough or may make it too fast and end up going into the outside lane without being intended to go out there. It could cause problems. I've seen it where they not only go to the inside lane, but also go right into the middle in between the double yellow lines, which is the turn lane. We gotta make sure that that you intend to keep everybody in single line, and don't speed out real quick, okay? Go at a leisurely pace, make sure everybody's out, because once you get out on the street, then everybody can go staggered, okay? What happened to this slide? Okay.
This is the picture of night riding.
No. Oh, you didn't get the video?
No,
There was a video there.
no, I didn't
Of
get the
people
video.
actually pulling out single file the way it was supposed to. Okay, never mind. I'll get that to you. I think I have it on my laptop. Okay, everybody knows staggered, okay? Going around curves and turns, okay? When you come up to a turn, a right turn especially, make sure that everybody stays staggered, because that guy on the inside, on the outside of the lane, okay, may be coming up a little bit too quick, and when he makes that turn, he's gonna travel out. I've seen it where people kind of bunch up on these turns and make sure that everybody stays staggered. I was behind two guys that actually bumped bikes in a turn, because the guy in this was the inside going out, and he went out making the turn, and fortunately nothing happened. It wasn't, nobody went down or anything, but it could have been a disaster. So make sure that when you're going on the curve, they don't bunch up. Let them know that in your pre-ride presentation, and making right and left turns, that they give everybody enough room, okay, when they're making those turns. Okay, there's your turn. Okay, again, talking about making right-hand turns. You can see this guy right here. You can see this is a disaster waiting to happen right here. This is good, okay, this is good. This could be a disaster. So make sure that they don't bunch up. Going into a parking lot. This thing keeps turning, switching.
Julio, it might be easier if you just tap the space bar. That should.
Really? It could be. This thing is super touchy.
I'm used to it.
Okay, going into a parking lot.
By the way, this is me a lot.
I hate guys like that. But anyway, when you go in, okay, go someplace where hopefully they can put all the bikes or park all the bikes at one time. Go in, go close in, turn out, and then everybody can just, in line, just back up to their spot the way it's supposed to be. It makes things a lot easier going in, and also a lot safer, and a lot easier going out, because if somebody has to leave early, he's not blocked in by, one or two bikes. And so nobody's bike gets damaged if he tries to finagle or maneuver between a couple of bikes trying to get out if he's stuck in the back. Spacebar, huh? Oh, very good. Okay, passing. This is the one thing that scares me to death every time we're on a ride. Trying to pass a slow-moving truck, a slow-moving vehicle, or at times a farming implement, okay, like a tractor, okay? On a 2-lane road, okay, there's a tractor, and he's doing 8 miles an hour, okay, and everybody's behind you, okay. Make sure that when you do pass, okay, that there's plenty of room in front, okay, and in the oncoming traffic, there is no oncoming traffic. And when you move over, I've seen it happen before, the guy moves over, he slows down, okay? Everybody else is trying to get around this tractor or whatever the case may be, or combine, or God, who knows what. Speed up, get up out of this vehicle, whatever it may be, so everybody has room and time to get in front. And be careful, because if you see a car coming and not everybody can make it, okay, just go up far enough to where they can make it in, okay? And then when they're, then everybody can regroup and you can take off. Any questions so far?
The only other comment with farm implements is they turn left and they turn right without direction.
Without signals.
And so just because they're in the right-hand lane going 8 miles an hour doesn't mean they're not going to turn left right away. So just be ready for them to run you over.
Right.
2 slides ago, Julio, at the bottom of the slide there was another lesson there of when one of the 2 lanes is closing.
They also may swing out to avoid poles or mailboxes and stuff like that. So
Oh, down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could be a very
Also,
dangerous
farm implements
situation.
kick up a lot of dirt and muck, a lot of chunks of mud and stuff, so be real defensive on it.
Good point. I was with another group one time. We were riding. We were on the tri-state, on the interstate, and this truck driver, okay, decides that he was going to play games, and we were behind his truck, the semi, and those ribs they have on the side of the road, okay? Well, he pulled over and just rode those ribs, and his wheels just kicked up a lot of dirt and dust, okay? That was not a good experience, so be aware of something like that also. Okay, passing a car. Okay, this is the guy, you pass, don't stop here and expect, because it's everybody else. Keep moving up, make sure everybody has enough room. Okay. Pop quiz, I forgot about this. What is the distance between you and the bike in front of you? 2.6. Okay. How do you measure that distance? No, okay, but how do you measure that distance? You don't just count. Okay,
They pass a sign or marker.
pick out an object in front of the bike in front of you. When that bike hits that object, now you count 1,000, 2, 1,000. At 2, 1,000, you should hit that marker. If you hit it at 3/1000, then you're too far behind, or if you do it at 1/1002, okay, that means you're too close. So pick out a spot in front of the bike in front of you. When they hit it, start counting, and then you should hit that at 2/1000. If the bike in front of you leaves the group, what should you do?
Wave goodbye.
See ya.
Okay,
Nice
yeah,
talking.
you could do that. But, okay, a lot of times when you're in the right track and the guy in the left track decides, well, he's got to go, which is fine, it happens, and he makes a left turn, okay, the guy behind him decides, well, he's going to move up. No, you cannot do that. You cannot pass in the same lane, okay, especially bikes do it all the time, but you cannot pass in the same lane. Stay in that spot that you're in, leave that spot open. The time to close that up is at a stop sign or a stop light. Now then everybody can move up and that person can occupy that space in front of him where that person left. Okay? When passing a slow vehicle on a 2-lane road, should you slow down once you have passed the vehicle? I think I've talked about that. Yeah, I've covered that to death. Although not recommended, but sometimes necessary, riding the toll road, which lane should the group in a 3-lane expressway or toll road be in and why? Okay, the group, if you're on a toll road, a 3-lane toll road, center lane. And why is that? Because people entering or leaving the toll road has that right lane to do so, and if the people behind you want to pass, they have the left lane or the right lane to do so as well. So we ride the center lane. Questions? But it's highly recommended that toll roads be avoided as much as possible, especially if you're going on a local ride. If you're going cross country, well then of course it's probably not possible to do so. But try avoid toll roads whenever possible, and make sure everybody's got a transponder, okay? Because now I heard on the news that they're cracking down. Even though I have all my license plates on my account, okay, and I leave the transponders at home, they say they're going to start giving out tickets for people that don't have the transponders in their car. Okay, so yeah, basically. So make sure you have the transponders on your bike or on your car. The license, you can use the same transponder in your car and your bike as long as both license plates are listed on your account. On a 1-lane highway with both lanes going in the same direction, which lane should we occupy? Should the group be in?
Is it on a 1-lane highway?
2-lane. The left lane. Okay?
I'm sorry, what was that answer?
The left lane.
Left lane.
Yeah.
So
And just to clarify, it's a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes north, 2 lanes south. Okay? The group should be in the left lane. Okay? Any questions on this? Nobody else appalled. I had to put it in myself. That's okay. Okay, road captain explanations and obligations. Okay. This is the things that we all should know, and things that we either have covered or going to cover is knowledge of hand signals and writing protocols, which I covered in the last 15-20 minutes up here. Make sure that everybody's fuel tank is topped off. Pay attention to directions and instructions. There's a lot of times, and I've seen it happen, and I'm guilty of it myself, and I apologize for that. But when the lead road captain is giving his dissertation, his orientation there about the ride, there's people talking like what's going on right over here. They're not paying attention. Hello? Okay. Just do what I just did. Okay, make sure they have your attention. This tells them to shut the hell up, okay, and lets everybody else know that they should be quiet because they should know what's going on. And there could be somebody there that doesn't know what's going on, and they have to know and they have to learn as well. So make sure that they quiet. Okay.
Yes, dear.
Don't forget that. Okay. Make sure that you respect fellow riders. If you see someone playing games, of course, they are gone. Just, pull the group over in a safe location. And if you have to talk to a rider, especially a non-member or a member, do not talk to that individual alone. Don't take that person and say, hey, come with me.
No, he's
Okay?
touching me.
Don't do that. If go get your suite, okay, and both of you say, hey, buddy, we need a couple of words. We have to talk to you for a minute, okay? Be civil, be kind, okay, because we don't need any confrontations. But that person has to know whatever he's doing is causing a danger to everybody else in the group. Make sure everybody has, well, it's not our responsibility, but everybody should have an M on their license and proper insurance. Their bike should be well maintained. And make sure that you let anybody know, the group know, I should say, that if they have to leave the group, leave the ride, that, ask you to let them, have them tell you ahead of time before the ride takes off. If you're going to pick up a rider, halfway through the ride, which has happened, make sure the group knows that as well, okay? Hey, when we get to Lake Cook and Quinton, we're gonna pick up 2 guys, okay? So this way they know that these are 2 guys that, were expected to join the group.
And how does the sign-in sheet work then at that time?
I'm sorry?
And how does that sign-in sheet in case of emergency, how does that work at that time if you're picking?
We have no control over that, but make sure they sign the sheet afterwards. Okay, but if they're not there, okay, or if someone comes late, I've seen where we've been pulling out and another rider we're pulling out over here, somebody's pulling in over there, well, he's just gonna get at the end of the group. We're not gonna stop and pull over and have him sign the sheet. It's just not, it's just not feasible. So, but, at the end of the ride or when you make the first stop, if there's multiple stops, take the sheet out and say, here, sign this, make sure you put the information.
If one of them is a guest and something happens before you can start.
We're not responsible, okay? We can't be responsible for someone that joined the group after we have left. How are we gonna stop and pull over and say, hey, we gotta fill this out? It's just not feasible.
We all have to stop. Because he's sitting there, we all should stop and have him sign the thing before we continue, or just keep going with it?
Just keep going. I mean, if you're already on the road, okay, keep going until you get to your first stop and then take it out and have them sign it.
If you stop at the gas station to meet them,
Yeah,
then have them sign it.
yeah.
But
If you're
they're
stopping the
just swing
meeting.
in and join us, they're kind of not part of the ride until they sign in.
So should they stay behind the suite?
Yes. No, I don't
just in
know.
front of us.
In fact, I would say in front of the suite. Yeah. Okay.
My
And
only concern is that, so if he's in front of the suite, he rear ends the person in front of them, and, injuries occur, that might be a
He's
problem.
not part of the ride.
So if he's behind the suite, technically he's not with the group.
that could be. Maybe that's something you might want to talk to Thor about.
I will get in touch with Laura.
Okay. It's not a
Find
bad
out what I
idea.
can.
Okay, and one thing too is ask everybody that their bladders are empty, okay, because it's hell to have these, halfway to your destination, someone's got to pull over to relieve themselves. So, okay.
He's got a coffee intake before the ride.
Any additional questions? Okay. Planning and preparation and briefings. Okay. Country roads. Try and stick to country roads as much as possible, but keep an eye out for cows crossing the road, deer crossing the road. Okay, it's happened to me where I've had deers cut in front of me. Fuel and rest stops. Okay, make sure that if you're on a real long trip, like around the lake or from here to Iowa or someplace, find out who's got Sporties, okay, with a 3-gallon gas tank. Okay, you got to plan your stops around that person. Okay, you can't say, okay, you can't plan a stop that's 120 miles away when that Sportster's only going to go 90.
You can if it's downhill.
Well, yeah, you can. But really, it's not gonna work that way. So you gotta plan your stops around that guy with a 3-gallon or 4-gallon tank. Again, tollways and freeways, try to avoid them as much as possible. Skill level of riders. Now, when a guest joins the group, you don't know what their skill level is as far as riding a motorcycle. Whoever brings the group in, whoever brings that rider into the group, it's their responsibility, okay, to make sure that they ride in a fashion that's acceptable to the group. If not, you got to keep your eye on him in your mirror as a lead row captain, and the sweep has to watch that person and make sure that they're doing what needs to be done. And the person who brings them in should make sure that person knows, we ride staggered, all the hand signals that we use, and that could be our responsibility as row captains, and maybe take that person aside who brought that individual in if you haven't seen them before, but make sure that they know this is what we do, this is how we ride. We're not going to teach him how to ride, we're just going to inform him how we ride as a group. Review all hand signals and safety requirements, know your destination. First aid kits. How many have first aid kits? Okay, you need to probably get some of those. Okay.
If you have one, a good idea would be to check your stuff and make sure that there's nothing expired in there, everything's up and working.
Okay, safe leadership, that's something we all as row captains should practice, okay? The people behind you as the lead row captain are gonna watch what you do, and if you're out there hot dogging it, they're gonna hot dog it. And that could mean serious consequences for people behind you or behind them or whatever the case may be. If they screw up, the domino effect, it just keeps going downhill, so. Know your rally points. Constant speed and pace. We all would do that as lead row captains, but occasionally you're going to get someone in the group that's going to, like the rubber bandit, speed up, see what his bike can do or whatever the case may be. Make sure that individual, you take that individual aside at your first stop and let them know that that's not something we do. We keep a constant 2-second or 1-second intervals between the person in front of us and adjacent to us.
I'd also say it's a good idea to use your cruise control.
Who?
To use your cruise control if you're leading.
If you're in the long...
There's so many guys that lead, not necessarily this group, but others that I'm involved in, and they just keep rolling on and off the throttle, and it's like, set it at 57 miles an hour or whatever you want.
Right.
You just leave there.
Exactly.
Rather than having to, keep changing your speed all the time. So use cruise control, that's what it's there for.
Okay,
If
good
you
idea.
have it.
For those that have it.
What's that?
If you have it.
Yeah, if you have it. If you don't have it, that's cool. But if you have it, just set it and forget it, and it makes it easier for everybody behind because you got a constant pace going up the hill and down the hill. It's all the same speed,
Okay. Know any dangerous intersections. 2 that come to mind right away. There's one, I believe, on Roberts Road. It's like a suicide circle is what I call them. There's one on Goff Road in Des Plaines, which is also a suicide circle. These could be very dangerous to motorcycles. Cars, it's very dangerous to cars as well, but especially the motorcycles. If you know you've got this type of intersection, inform everybody of that ahead of time and be very cautious that, when you're navigating around this, they call it a turnabout, I think. A roundabout. I call it a suicide circle, but they call it a roundabout. So be conscious of that. Know if someone's dropping out. Okay, safe regrouping. Contingency stops or emergency stops. If it's a real long ride, okay, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have 1 or 2 places in mind in case something happens. And group communication, we discussed that earlier, that, through CBs if possible, if everybody, not everybody, but if anybody has them. If not, okay, it's got to use hand signals. Those hand signals are very important to your safety and the people behind you or the people in front of you as a sweep. Who has a tougher job out there?
Sweet.
The sweep, okay? The guy in front, he's just riding, okay? He's just gotta know where to turn right or turn left. But the sweep has the more difficult position in the group than the lead road captain. So when you're sweeping, keep that in mind. You gotta be aware of what's going on in front of you, what's going on alongside of you, what's going on in back of you. You have to know where the turns are, so this way you can secure the left lane or right lane in making a left turn or right turn or changing lanes. How do we change lanes? Oh,
Lead turn
okay.
signal.
Okay.
Does anybody read their books?
This is the most difficult part of writing, that's writing in a group, that you can express to people or pound it in their heads. Follow the bike in front of you, okay? That's the simplest way to say it. Follow the bike in front of you. The lead road captain will put on their turn signal to switch lanes. Everybody should put on their turn signal at the same time, but don't change anything, don't move, okay? That goes back to the sweep. The sweep will then, he's the only one that moves, will go over and secure that lane. The lead road captain will make sure that that lane is clear of vehicles. Then he moves over, and then everybody else follows him. I have seen it so many times where somebody puts on the right turn signal, somebody in the middle of the pack, oh, okay, boom. I mean, they go over. Stress this in your pre-ride meeting, okay? Follow the bike in front of you. Because I put on my turn, if I'm leading the group, and if I put on my turn signal, okay, all I want you to do is put on your turn signal. That's it,
You be
okay?
prepared.
I'm sorry?
You be prepared.
Yeah, and
That's the one to be prepared. You're gonna go.
and follow the bike in front of you. When the bike in front of you moves, then you move. And that bike behind me as the lead should not move until I move. So, and I won't move until I know that lane is secure.
And you also want to make sure you check your blind spot and stress that they check theirs too. They just don't go over.
Okay, we've talked about parking, fuel, maintenance, restrooms, food, return routes. Return routes. Are the return routes chapter rides? No, they're not.
Not most of the time.
No, usually not, unless it's designated ahead of time, but usually everybody's on their own to get back. But as road captains for the chapter, make sure everybody knows how to get back, okay? At least get back to the dealer. I'm not saying you gotta take them home, but if you're coming back here, make sure that, make everybody aware that you're coming back. If anybody wants to follow you back, they're welcome to it, but again, it's not a chapter ride. You're not responsible. Okay, basically, that's everything that we talked about. Route sheets, maps. It's not a bad idea to have your route sheets printed up, and like Rocky said, the Google route sheets or the MapQuest route sheets. They have so much information on there that's not pertinent to the ride, to the left turn or right turn, okay? Take it and dissect it and say, okay, we're gonna make a right turn on the Rand. We're gonna make a right turn on Quinton. We're gonna make a left turn on whatever, okay? So many times it says, make a right turn on Rand, continue on Rand, go 4 miles on Rand, come up to Quinton, make a right turn. I mean, all this information is useless to you and to the people in the group. Take a few moments, type it out, just turn by turn, make a left make a right on 12, or left on 58, or 68, or right on, whatever the case may be. Keep it simple. So this way, if anybody does get separated or lost, okay, they can follow the route. If you do get separated, it's going to happen at stoplights. As the lead road captain, what should you do? Say you've got 12 people in your group, you come up to a light, boom, it turns yellow, it turns red, and only 7 people get through the light. What do you do? Slow down. Yeah, just slow down. Slow it down. Don't pull over. Don't pull over.
Especially don't pull over on the side of the road. Get into a parking lot if that's what you're gonna end up
not on the
doing.
side of the road.
So do not sit on the side of the road.
The sweep will then go in front of that group and take charge of that group, okay? And he'll take charge of that group until he catches up to the lead group. At that point in time, he will get out of line and go back to his duties as being a sweep. Okay? He should know the route, should have the route sheet. Okay, again, this is another reason why to keep it as simple as possible, as far as turn by turn. Mike?
I gotta go.
Oh.
But one quick thing, I don't know if we'll get to it later. When there is a medical emergency, a mechanical, somebody has a flat tire, if the luggage came over and bike has to pull over, the sweep stays with that person. The lead take the group and go down the street, find a safe place to pull off a parking lot, get out of traffic. Don't leave 10 or 15 bikes on the side of the road, because that can just lead to more problems.
Good.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Hey, Mike.
Okay.
Have a good one, Mike. Say hi to Karen.
All right.
I've got a little card printed I keep in my wallet. I have it laminated. I don't have it in this wallet. It's probably in my other one over there. It has what I talk about as far as the pre-ride briefing is concerned. Okay, and when you're out there, especially for new people, or you got a big group, you might be a little bit nervous. Oh, you got one there? Okay. You might be a little nervous. It's always good that you have this card that you can follow. Okay. I've got it. Did I send that to you, Rocky?
Yeah, I think I got one.
Okay.
Talk about the John
Yeah.
can get some of these made up for everybody.
Right. Just
That doesn't have them.
yeah, it doesn't have everything on there, but at least it's an it'll give you an idea of what the important points that you have to discuss. So make sure you don't forget anything. What is the one thing that we do as a group that I have not mentioned yet? Anybody remember? I know it's been a long time since we've been on bikes. No turn on red. No turn on red for any reason. Okay. If the guy behind you, there's a couple of cars behind you and they're blowing their horn, let them blow it. Okay. No turn on red. Okay. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, if we have a pretty good sized group going out, 10, 12, 14 people. So you got a lead and a sweep. I'd like you ought to have, if there's any road captains present,
Put them in the middle.
well, put them in the middle or put them back by the sweep. So when they get cut off, the sweep doesn't have to go up. The road captain can go out.
Well, the sweep should go up and let the secondary stay in the back. Okay, because it's the sweep's responsibility.
You always have somebody on the wing too, that if they get up there, the guy on the wing drops back and becomes sweep for the first group until they don't really should something happen.
Okay, that's it.
Since I'm new to this year, and I realize, as you said, the sweep really has more responsibilities in some respects than the road captain. One thing that I've always been concerned about when my time comes up to be a sweep is when you have these, the lanes that merge from 2 to 1, and the sweep's responsible to secure that lane. So
Thank you for bringing that up, yes.
Cutting in.
Right.
Well, I'm sure over the years you've all run into the morons that are trying to force their way in or in the cars, and
Right, but you're gonna
deal with those people. So how do you typically handle that? Because we're obviously at much more risk than they are.
Okay.
They might be an asshole.
Exactly. The thing one of the things I learned, and which is stuck in my mind, from Rick. Where's Rick? He's over there. Is the person with the most lug nuts has the right of way.
All right.
Okay. So if someone's going to be an asshole and gets in that lane and wants to sneak in or force his way in the middle of the pack, let him do it. Okay? Because sooner or later he's going to make a turn, he's going to go around, or whatever the case may be. Okay? But don't try and enforce it or fight it, because trust me, if he's a jerk, once a jerk, always a jerk, basically. Okay? For the lack of a more, this is mixed company, so I'll be nice. I won't say what I wanted to say.
No.
So Julia, when you're a suite and a group gets broken up or around here where there's a lot of traffic or just it's on a 2-lane road, how as a suite do you get around everybody to be able to get up front?
When
You
it's
just
safe?
allow the,
No, when
because
it's-
a lot of times there's just too much traffic to get around.
When it's safe, you would pass on the left, if it's safe, okay? If it's not, there's too much traffic, this is one of the reasons why everybody should have, the instructions or the route sheet. If the suite can't get up front, then that's happened, okay? Then just make sure that, hey, make a left here, make a right there, whatever the case may be.
Somehow works its way.
Yeah, I mean, when we're out in the country, but around here, we
Yeah,
get.
but what I mean is, either the guy who's stuck at the red light, the lead guy at the red light, he may not know where, but the third guy back may, and so he'll let him know, just keep going straight, you know, and
Yeah,
keep their
it
speed
usually
down.
works.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that
That's one
first
issue.
guy sees the path.
Just something.
and then
Right.
he saw
Right.
it.
When we
But
give this to
everybody's
Jenny,
blood pressure
we're
goes
gonna
up,
see if
it's
Jenny
like, oh
may
no,
get
now I'm in the
those
lead and I just arrived, and what do I do?
Mm,
And the answer is pretty much just go straight. There's always somebody right around that knows
I'm
better,
not gonna go.
you know,
I'm not
can
gonna
take
go any
control of
further
it.
with this.
It's kind of one of those things like with stop signs. Does one person at a
Yeah,
time
passing
go
is
away
reasonable.
with the stop sign, or does everybody kind of go together? And the rule, Julio?
Yes, sir.
Four-way stop sign. How do we handle it when we got a group? What's the rule?
With great care.
Yeah, there you go.
With great care, a 4-way stop sign.
If you know it's on the right ahead of time,
Right.
let everybody know.
Exactly. Everybody should know everything about the right as much as possible, but when you come to a 4-way stop sign, if you can grab the attention of the people on your right and left that are across, okay, and you ask them to hold, okay, and if they say, screw you, you're gonna go. So let them go, okay? If a lot of times you're gonna, you know, the people are gonna wave you on. They see a group, they're gonna wave you on. They can go. If not, just, you know, let them go or whatever the case may be, and then everybody stops at the stop sign, and as a lead road captain, just go slow until everybody crosses the road, and everybody's gathered together again and grouped up, and then continue on with the ride. A 4-way stop sign is really touchy. So, the only thing I can do is whichever way you handle it, whichever way you do it, just make sure it's safe as much as possible.
Because the policy is everybody stops at the stop sign. The reality is you try to get all the cars to stop and everybody rolls through.
Right.
But everybody has to be aware of the guy in front of you is gonna effing stop. Right, you know, he's gonna go halfway and then he's gonna stop. So you gotta be ready for that guy in front of you to stop. That's all.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, some years back, 4 or 5 years ago, was on a ride. We were on Roberts Road in 176, I think it was. No, that's a red light. Anyway, we were someplace out in that area, and there was a stop sign, and the road came to a T, and everybody here was supposed to stop. And we must have been about 30, 40 bikes. And everybody's just going through the stop sign, and what pulls up with a state trooper pulls up. And he sees all these bikes go through the stop sign, he sticks his head out the window, goes, everybody get going. So,
They're gonna let you go.
yeah, they're
The
gonna
problem are the cars, not the cops.
Yeah, so-
It's never been a problem.
Okay, that's as far as we're gonna go. Any, Keith?
I heard something from somebody once, I thought it was mentioned at the last class, or not, maybe not, I thought that's when this person said it. But Harley Davidson does not want us to use hand signals, that now we should only use our electronic signals?
It's hand signals when you're not on a chapter ride, when you're not on an insurance ride. That's when they suggested not to use hand signals.
Wait, I'm confused now.
They're saying, it gets into a legal thing with
There's a
lawyers and
liability
things
involved.
like that. We're covered by insurance when we're on a chapter ride, or we get insurance to do charity rides, things like that. When we're on a personal ride, they're sitting there saying, okay, like say 4 of us go out for a ride, and I'm leading. There's a legal issue if I do a hand signal and then something happens.
So
The
it's just
legal issue
not
comes to me. So they're saying, don't use hand signals when you're on an individual ride,
a non-chapter ride.
on non-chapter ride.
Okay.
That there could be legal issues. Don't ask, hey, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah,
I don't,
what the
I
hell?
don't pretend to be a lawyer, but I have seen one on TV.
You caused it, because you told me you were attorney.
Well, how does that differ from the person who is going down the road, whether they're on a motorcycle or a car? They don't put their turn signal on, all of a sudden they stop and a guy rear ends them, you know? So,
But that's
But I heard that, I thought you wanted to say something about that.
You do what you're gonna
Thanks.
do.
You know, in all honesty, I don't know why they would even bring up that issue, because on the chapter rides, we use hand signals, okay? What you do on, you know, in
Yeah.
your personal life, on your own ride, whatever the case, the chapter has nothing to do with that, neither does HOG, so I don't even know why
Well,
they
you
brought
know,
it up.
if there's a legal issue by using hand signals when, you know, when you're on a non-chapter ride, it's kind of good to know.
Because this one person had said that don't use them ever, so I just wanted to clarify a point.
In all honesty, when I'm in a non-chapter ride or I'm by myself, I never use hand signals. I always use my electronic signals, but that's me personally. Okay, anything else?
Another reason why you want to do a pre-ride check and make sure that all your lights are working before you get on the bike. It's called T-clocks,
Are you gonna make some?
right?
You're gonna make some more little
My
cards?
students back
Yeah,
there.
sir. You started once.
We're gonna end up sending out the, there's two modules, the one that Julia just did, and there's another one that's on a Word format that kind of explains each of the slides. Those will go out sometime early next week, so that everybody has them. I was gonna just send them to the prospective members. Does anybody else need them that did not get them from last year? You got it last year, didn't you? You got it, you're the one who sent it to me!
I wrote it.
With the exception of, though, I don't have the video.
I'll see, I got that. Already.
Okay, and then I'll get that stuff sent out, so.
I would actually like it just to have a copy.
Okay, I'll send them out to everybody. The roster, the officer and road captain listing, I will not be sending those out unless there are changes made to it. But I'll continue to send out the ride schedule until we get it completed. And we'll be getting it up on Meetup as well as the calendar. And Lenny posts it also on the chapter website. It's on there too. Yes?
I just wanted to, you actually answered it, but I was just, because this meeting was not on Meetup, and I almost missed it if I didn't get a text this morning saying, hey, you wanted the meeting.
It wasn't on
What?
No, it's not on
Was it
Meetup.
Meetup?
The road captain
No,
meetings
I
have
get
never
Meetup,
been on
but
Meetup that I'm aware
I
of.
get Meetup notifications.
Yeah.
So I would have gotten a reminder, because Julio put the meetings on.
Did you?
For
No, I don't, meetings I did not put on me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one on Meetup that, as long as I can look at. Well, I did send an email out last week with things I mentioned about this.
Because with me,
So,
It's just a suggestion, just because it gives a reminder.
well, the thing is, you don't want the whole chapter to be aware of it and show up for it too.
Yeah, see, if you do it on Meetup, it goes out to everybody in the chapter who signed up for Meetup. For this group here, we just wanted, I shouldn't say we, but I think Rocky just wanted to go up to the whole campus.
Yeah. I got a phone somewhere. Where did I put my phone?
That's what was in my ear,
Take your pod.
who wasn't mentioned in the last meeting?
That's right there. See it right there.
That's how I knew about it. I put it on.
Wrong one.
October 1?
October 1st, 10:30.
Anybody else?
We hope some people can stick around and help out.
Yep.
They do a lot of, we have to support them because they do a lot for us. They really have. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to see the second module, I've got it up here right now.
Because this is.
And it basically goes right along. This is what your ride briefing card looks like. We're going to work on trying to get this to a modified form that'll fit in the pocket, and that's kind of what Keith passed around. So I'm going to work on getting that part of it done, but it just shows you what each of the slides look like and what they're, we're supposed to be talking about as we go through it. So you'll get that as well as the segment that Julio just did in mail. Let's see, I need one other thing.
I don't have a round for that.
Well, it's just up to Fox Ave. It's just from here up to St. Charles, right?
Yes.
Right. Yep, well, that's fairly simple.
Yes.
So that's it for me, unless anybody has any other questions. If you've got any changes you want to make as far as the ride calendar goes, just either shoot them to me in an email,
Okay.
preferably, so I have something to back it up. Keith, you said
10:30.
10:30.
You guys want to ride?
Okay. Okay. Be my pleasure.
I had one more.
Do you know dates?
Do you have something, Jim?
Yeah. You're leaving the ride, make sure you've got your suite phone number.
Hey, guys.
When you're leaving the ride, make sure you got your suite's phone number, both the exchanges. If something happens, somebody breaks down or whatever, your suite's gonna pull over and stay with him. You're gonna keep going up till you can find a place to pull over safe. Parking lot's done.
Well,
You could end up getting out of CB range, and that way then you can call back your suite and find out what's going on.
in all honesty, in the past where we've had, and that has happened, with rides, the sweep and the lead road captain, how we handled it in the past, now maybe it's changed or I may want to do something different. But the sweep and the lead road captain stay with the group. We ask for a volunteer to stay with the person that's broke down. Okay?
That's after you get pulled over to the side, you can talk and so forth. If you're riding and going, and you're on one of the side country roads, you may not find a place that you can pull 10 bikes over.
Well, that's the purpose of putting it in your gas tank, and so this way it gets up to the lead road captain. Okay, we had that situation, I don't know if you run that right or not, where, oh God, his name just, I had a brain freeze. The last director. Stan, thank you, man, it was there, it was gone. Okay, we're on Northwest Highway, we're on a chapter ride. Mike gives up, okay? And so, and I wasn't the sweep.
Yeah, Mike was.
Huh?
Mike Malachi was.
Right. I stayed with Stan and made sure that he got home, but the group went on to their prospective stop or whatever, and we just kept in contact by cell phone once they, got off the road and they were able to call. So that's what we did, and I just made sure we got home safe.
I mean, obviously, there's gonna be challenges, like if you're out in the middle of cornfields, there's usually no shoulder to pull off at. So I think that's what he's trying to, relay over, because I mean, usually if a bike does give out, he's just gonna pull over. The sweep is gonna be the last resort man to be there, unless the bikes behind him get kind of confused and go around. But typically, I mean, we've all have ridden together for the majority of the time. If somebody is broken down in the middle, 95% of the time, that whole back group is going to stop and make sure that that individual is okay. And I think that's what Rock was trying to say, is it's important to keep going. Let that person pull over, the rest of the group go around them until the sweep comes up, and then it takes care of it.
And to be honest with you, if you got a big enough group, as the lead, you might not know that someone broke down.
Yeah.
So you're just continuing on, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, I only have half the group behind me, what's going on?
2 words to remember: common sense.
But it's a good idea to have all the telephone numbers. I like getting the roster, because if there's any incident on the road, your second call after straightening everything out is to the head road captain, to let him know, shit just happened, here's what I'm doing about it, what else do I need to do? I want you to know. And in my case, Julia was like, all right, you did everything okay, no problem, just, bring me the paperwork or fax it or email it to me or something. And it's like, that made me feel a lot better, because I had everything done the right way, that's all.
And then I called 3 times, left them a message 3 times, and each message I said there was an incident, and never called me back.
You know what? You did your job.
I did.
And you sent the paperwork to him, too. So, all you can do is what you can do.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's that half a rule. He wants to know about it before the lawsuit gets in.
I just had to think one other responsibility for a sweep. Always try to stay within the leads vision. It was back and forth in the lane, because the last one, right in the center lane mostly, probably. but sometimes maybe you're gonna have to like go way on the edge so the lead can see you or something. So that's another responsibility this week. Try to stay in the lead vision.
And
Because he's driving like this and yours going like this.
And keep your high beam.
yeah, high beam on and have everybody else keep their high beam on.
I've done it sometimes. I've gotten in the oncoming lane so we can see that we all get a treat on.
I also like it as stop sign when the speed just gives me a big thumbs up. No, seriously, when you're in the lead, you look back there and, you know, I'm only looking for a second back there, I'm just trying to get a quick count.
Do you guys know what time do you ride from the lead from here to
To be honest with you, as
the
the lead, I can't see those green vests. With
No,
everybody's
no,
fair
behind
and
the windshield.
windshield. I don't know, is that my sweep back there or not? I have no idea.
Well, you guys saw
Yes,
that.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
we got two lights behind me.
I've got my own, I've got my own.
Maybe once you get a big wall.
Yeah, so they said the dealership, a chapter of the ground, or a bunch of them,
I saw Jim's got one.
yeah.
Alright, so does that answer the question?
Last thing would be, does anybody have their blue card that they need to get signed?
Yeah.
You need to have it signed?
8 o'clock, Steve.
8 a.m.?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a slice.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, be safe.
Thank you.
That's it.
You're welcome. Now,
Yes, sir.
do mine?
Yes, sir.
Since I can't do my own. Thank you.
How do you want, Brian, GPS or GPX?
It doesn't matter, I can take either one.
I'm gonna try
And
and
bring
do
it down to the boat.
this season. I'm gonna lie, you've got one.
No, I got a, but I'm not sure where to go.
Yeah, I gotta do something for communication. I gotta look into that, do a little research on it, or if you do, let me know what you find out. Yeah, because I know my mic is set up for one, it's as easy as plugging in a microphone and tuning
Well,
in
I
a
try to
channel.
rewrite what I
So for
can.
that, I think it seems to make sense.
All right, have a good one, Jared.
For me, I gotta get a standalone or something different. I don't have anything I can plug in. But it is like a Bluetooth thing where I can use the phone with the helmet.
Sure, I can't see why not. If it's something you
Yeah.
can use.
Well, he
Call,
mentioned it.
on my phone, I use the last dial. When I switch, I put the road captain, it's number in there, and I just hit the last dial, and I can talk to the helmet.
See, I just totally stay off my phone when I'm on the bike, I just always have.
It's just for an emergency, I've never got them with the helmet.
Huh.
Or have somebody ride up.
I had to tell Nancy on the back, last
Nobody
dial,
else
I
can
talked to the road captain.
Alright, I gotta look into
I never
that.
did that, but I always have.
I did that with Nick's route last year when he did roundabout at or in McHenry. Yeah, the
Robert's Road is where everybody, because they're going after Virgin or some popular road to get up into River Road or Christie's.
Right, I take that. That's the only way I go up now. It's one of these better ways.
The other place where there's a full roundabout is over at Everett and Riverwood.
Okay.
But we don't ride that area much at all. Anyhow, I'll get it to you.
All right, thanks, Rick. I appreciate that.